is the verdict that they hurl at y'all. Now it's time to stand united, else divide and fall. Talking black people, brown people, all the fully down people, white people, raise your voice and fight. People stay in closed mouths, mostly never gets banned.
It's a fundamental need for them to be pushed out of school. You have teachers that do not care about their education. You have school cops that are ready to criminalize them and ready to put them first on the list to be expelled and sent to a continuation school and lead them down that track from school to jail. Now, education is going to help them so they kind of avoid these cracks that most of them fall in. Now, education is not the only thing alone. The way of activism can come in many different forms. One is by educating other youth, because if you know what's going on, it serves nobody. You have to educate your brother or sister standing next to you, somebody else maybe in even a different city, to spread that knowledge. Activism also comes in the form of actually going and speaking to the larger system, going to the board of supervisors, going to the police commission, letting these officials, the one who put down these systematic forms of oppression, such as gang injustice and gang fighting, let them know you as a youth are not going to stand for it, and you will not grow up within it. And then, of course, there's the last form of activism, and that's more of the action-based activism, where you physically get in the streets. Because it's one thing to go and speak where you can be ignored, but when you're in the streets and you're taking up space and you have the public and the media eye looking at you and saying, and you get you and you're using your voice and your body to say, I will not stand for this, that's another part. And it's really all those three, education and activism, put together, that's going to make a movement, and with this movement we will start to see change. Prior to the civil rights movement, one of the LAPD's chief tasks were to keep people of color down and keep people of low income in their place. Civil rights movement occurred, many victories are won, and one of those victories was that the people of color and people from low-income communities had a right to not be kept in their place, had a right not to be suppressed. But the police do not recognize this right. It's not within their programming to recognize this right. And so what we're trying to do is reprogram the LAPD. And that's difficult, of course, because LAPD is a very resistant organization. They have mechanisms to build up their resistance, such as the Policeman's Bill of Rights, such as a code of silence. So as far as the LAPD being able to change, as a youth, I don't know. That's not a question I can answer because I cannot tell the future. It's like asking somebody from the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee back in the 1960s, do you think Jim Crow will change? They didn't know back then, I don't know now, but like they were back then, they were hopeful, and I am hopeful, and I'm going to work and dedicate my life as a youth and as an adult to making sure that change happens.
Everybody's an expert and don't know what they're doing. The next generation will wait for you to do it. Let's turn around these clowns because the world needs a movement. Turn up! Come on! Turn up! Say it with me, turn up!